Now at 11, severe storms bring torrential rain, turning the interstate into a river. I-70 looking like car soup at times as rising waters sent drivers scrambling to try to find higher ground.
Indeed, first came the tornado and thunderstorm warnings, but then came the flooding, and that is the breaking news that we are following for you tonight.
And you know, with the extensive dam and levee system we have now here in the Miami Valley, most of us basically feeling immune generally to flooding, but Brian, clearly that was not the case tonight.
Yeah, we're immune to the widespread major flooding, but we can still have small streams and localized flooding, and that's exactly what we had happen tonight. We had a corridor of heavy rain develop. The thunderstorms formed this afternoon. They were kind of scattered about, mostly moving west to east, dropping southeastward, then kind of a merger of that line, and eventually it went from this kind of orientation to more like this, and as it did so, we kept seeing thunderstorms building back to the northwest, so we had training, which produced about 4 to 5 inches of rain in a very narrow corridor from north of Troy around I-75 and Experiment Farm Road, extending on southeastward down into Bethel Township, and from there down to New Carlisle and Fairborn and over towards Yellow Springs, so in Old Town, that vicinity over into Greene County. So those storms formed, they kept back building, kept moving in a direction like this. So storm had moved southeast, another one would form and more or less go over that same location and ended up producing the flash flooding that we've seen tonight. Now the good news is most of the region is dried out. One little cluster of thunderstorms moving across southern Union County, Indiana, mainly heading down into Butler County, so you could see some locally heavy rain down here, maybe some gusty winds and some hail too as that storm passes southeastward. Look at the rainfall total here. John Kingham, Tip City, a ground truth of 4 inches and some flooding on his property because of that. We still have flood warnings in effect for Miami County and also the northern part of Montgomery County until 12:15. Out into Greene County, a flash flood warning continues in effect until 12:30. The good news is quieter weather headed our way. Details in your Storm Team 2 forecast coming up in just minutes.
All right, now let us go live to Robert Lowry. He's out on I-70 where parts of that major highway have been completely shut down tonight. Robert?
What all that water left out over here, a lot of mud, a lot of soot down here on the highway. You can see it pretty much as far as that water was covered. Now take a look over here. You can actually see some normalcy returning to I-70. We have tow trucks finally getting some of the vehicles off the road here. One vehicle getting on a truck, this vehicle getting over here. We know one vehicle getting taken off already. Now we did speak with Huber Heights Fire Department a little bit earlier, telling us that several people had to be rescued as soon as those flood waters started rushing in here, saying it came in so fast. People didn't have a lot of options. They got on the roof of their vehicles trying to stay safe. One person, we're told, that vehicle floating by a Huber Heights ladder truck, and they had to be rescued while they were on top of their vehicle. But really the first time we're hearing from people that they've lived here for 50 years, first time they've seen anything like this. And Huber Heights Fire Chief also telling us that really whenever you see water get up this high, do not risk it.
We had one individual's vehicle float by our ladder truck, and during that time we were able to snatch him out of the water with a couple of throw bags. But I can't express to people enough that when we have weather like this, you just cannot drive through high water. It only takes inches of water and it will move your car, and then you get it pushed into an area off the road, your car will submerge.
Now, last we heard, no one injured out of this, no one seriously hurt by any of this. We do know that the Huber Heights Fire Department saving several people, some water rescue out here, and some of the vehicles out here still waiting for those to get taken away. We do know ODOT out here actually assessing the highway too, making sure wasn't too much damage done to the roadway. We've seen them moving some debris, some large pieces of wood off of the highway, throwing it off into the side here, just making sure they get this highway clear and open as soon as possible. We still see semis backed up over here to the east, and some of them over here, some of that traffic being redirected to some other exits throughout the night. And we'll let you know as soon as I-70 is back open. For now, reporting live, Robert Lowry, 2 News, working for you.
Robert, thank you. Not just I-70, another major interstate, I-75, suffering significant flooding damage tonight. This is video of I-75 just north of State Route 41 in Miami County, sent to us by Gina, the morning DJ on Mix 107.7. We thank her for sending us this. She tells us that she had to get off on an on-ramp and there's just nowhere to go to get home. She's actually staying at a hotel tonight. You can see other people getting out of their cars, trying to figure out how they're going to get out, but just a lot of people congregating, trying to get home there tonight. And I-75, we are told, is closed in both directions from State Route 55 to State Route 571 near Tip area as they work to clear the debris left behind from the flooding there as well.
All right, and staying north, more spring storm coverage now from Miami County. Brooke Moore live covering more of the flooding there. Brooke.
We're here on 4th Street, just a couple blocks from Main Street. The people in Tip City tonight are dealing with a couple things, but first, take a look at what we found earlier tonight. This is literally part of the roadway that's been washed away from those waters. There's a creek that runs right under through here. It's created a hole that's about 6 feet deep here on 4th Street. But if you check out this video we shot earlier, massive flooding is what the people of Tip City were dealing with. People wading through it, trying to make their way, walking. Also, people trying to drive their cars through it. We did spot a couple cars that were not able to do so, and they ended up being stuck. There were also some downed power lines. The wind had knocked one of the power lines in half. A downed tree had knocked power out to many of these people here. Street lights were dark in downtown Troy, and many of these homes were without power for much of the night. One woman also let us into her home, and I was kind of wading through her basement, which you'll see in the video. It was a couple inches of water covering her entire basement, ruined furniture and almost everything that was down there. So I talked to her a little bit about how she was feeling after that tonight.
It's part of life and you can't control. You know, earlier this evening when I talked to the police, they could not even get to a home that was on fire. You know, so that family's going to lose everything. We're just covered. It's just things. You know, we still have our health, we have our family, so it can be replaced.
Back live here in Tip City. Some people may still be without power tonight. I was taking a look here at the DPNL power outage map. It looks like for Miami County, 115. That's down from 128 about a half an hour ago. It's hard to say how many of those are actually here in Tip City, but I know the woman I talked to that you just heard from, many people are dealing with flooding inside their homes tonight, though many of the roadways where we were seeing that flooding in that video, that has receded for the night. Reporting live in Tip City, I'm Brooke Moore. 2 News working for you.
And in New Carlisle, a sinkhole opened up during the storms right in the middle of a subdivision. The pavement crumbled and buckled on Lammers Road, making it impassable for drivers. Crews came out to put up a road closed sign, but neighbors say it needs fixed soon because right now they're stranded.
Unless we walk, we ain't allowed to drive. We have to walk everywhere we go.
I can't go to work. I work all the way in Springfield. You know, if they can get the street fixed pretty fast, we'll all be okay. It's only one way in and one way out over here.
Also in Clark County, crews had to rescue the driver of this van when they became trapped inside. It happened on Gurlaw Road. Crews tell us that at one point the water rose halfway up the van's windshield. We're told the driver is expected to be okay.
And here's another look at that sinkhole where Brooke was just a second ago in Miami County. Again, this photo from 4th Street in Tip City. A better look at it here before it got dark. And one of the many areas dealing with these kind of roadways now damaged by all the flooding tonight.
And when severe weather strikes, we count on you to help us tell the complete story.
And you came through sending us your weather photos and videos showing us exactly what happened when the storms rolled through earlier. Meteorologist Tara Hastings continues our live team coverage now with your part of the story. Tara?
Well, yeah, we can't be everywhere, and we would love to see your photos and, of course, when it is safe to go out and grab those photos. And we want to show you some video that we received. This is along I-70 Shane, and as you can see there, the water is covering most of the cars there up to right around their windshields. But take a look, too, in the mirror. You can see how traffic is backed up there as well. So that's from Shane, and we appreciate his photo here. And we'll show you another photo. This is from I-75. This is flooding there on that highway. And up in Tip City, we told you we see anywhere between about 3 and 5 inches. This is from Ron, and as you can see there, almost 5 3/4 inch of rain that fell in portions of Miami County. And finally, here's what it looked like at Huber Heights. Nick sent us this photo. Appears that kayak, it looks like, might be the best mode of transportation. As always, please remember, head to our website, WDTN.com, and click on the Report It feature to upload your picture of severe weather. Of course, when it is safe. Katie and Mark.